have washed away um, some of the sand, gravel.
Yeah.
So Ron, how have you been doing?
Pardon?
How have you been doing?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there.
Causing
Still.
trouble?
Always. Ron, she says, "Are you causing trouble?" And I said, "Always."
That's me. I've become a rather loud advocate for ALS. So
Good.
Mhm.
Needs as much advocacy as possible.
yes,
Agreed.
we do. But we're getting close to some medicine that's going to help, I think.
Oh, really?
Great.
You know, the ALS was discovered in 1869.
Mm,
Um, the
Huh.
first medicine that was approved by the FDA was in 1995.
wow.
Yes. In the last 2 years now, um, we actually have had three medications approved.
Okay.
Um, and then there's a bunch of research going on um, about basically doing spinal injections to try to straighten out the neutrons and protons that are all screwed up in us.
Mm.
So it's an interesting time. I think at some point in time, they're not just for ALS, but for MS and Parkinson's and
Mm.
all of those, I think are going to have gene gene therapy is what's going to fix it.
And the mRNA is what are they doing the mRNA stuff?
Uh, the brain scan stuff.
No, the drugs that they create with RNA.
Oh, most of the drugs they're using right now are already approved drugs. They're just using them
Okay.
in different combinations because that way there you can get the FDA to approve it without waiting half of your lifetime.
Mm. Now, when you're talking about uh, the other that you were talking about, that's with CRISPR, like what they're doing with the sickle cell?
Um, uh, well, what they're doing, they're virtually everyone that has died with ALS
Mm.
has the same proton and neutron screwed up. It's the TDP-43. So what they're trying to do now is they're trying to make that heal itself,
Okay.
um, not to change the progression of the disease, but to increase life expectancy.
Okay.
Everyone with ALS, virtually everyone, um, all but a handful of people, um, if you could take a pill tomorrow morning or a shot or whatever tomorrow morning that stops it where it's at, everybody would be happy.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, because we've learned to live the way we are. Um, so just stop it in its tracks and then worry about trying to figure out how to cure it
Mhm.
or what's causing it. But um, the sad part is that the number of people with ALS in the country doesn't change
Mm.
because for every person that gets diagnosed, a person dies.
Okay.
Um, since May, I've had 7 friends in South Carolina die from ALS.
That's really tough.
It's,
And the unfortunate part is that they're friends that I meet like you guys,
Mhm.
you know, because it's hard to transport. Um, and it's, you know, even to get to the ALS clinics, it's very difficult for them. A lot of these folks have to have Hoya lifts to get out of bed and into their chairs. And so what would normally be a 1 hour trip turns into about a 2.5 hour trip.
Mhm.
yeah, you don't understand the disability world until you're in it. And when you lose people that understand it, it's hard. It's hard all the way around.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you all have read anything about the airlines are going to put in seating for wheelchairs.
Is that a done deal?
Well, it's a done deal, but the devil is in the details.
Right, of course.
Okay. So the first airplane that's going to have that, first off, it has to have that to do it, they have to have seating of 175 people or more.
Mm.
The most popular airplane out there is the 737. Guess what? It doesn't have 175 seats.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of out. Second off, um, since it has to be redesigned and re-engineered in the airplane, it's not going to start with the airplanes that are in existence. It's going to start with airplanes that are being built.
Right, right.
It takes approximately 10 years from the time you order an airplane
Mhm.
to get it. So what we're looking at is, yeah, it's a done deal, but it's 10 years away.
Yeah. What discussion of, if anything, do you know of about retrofitting?
Um, the airlines have not talked much at all about retrofitting. Um, you know, the problem with retrofitting is the retrofitting is going to end up being permanent.
Mhm.
Um, those seats that are in the airplane are in seat tracks, much like the tracks you see when you get in a vehicle
Mhm.
to tie your wheelchair down. They're the exact same seat tracks. And that's so that they can make those seats really close together because they don't like you, or really far apart because they like you. Um, and that's what the airlines do when a football team charters Delta or Southwest or whatever to carry them to all their games. They don't sit in these cramped up seats like we do.
Mhm.
They have lots of leg room. And that's because they just move those seats back. Well, they don't want to retrofit an airplane. And by the way, there's only going to be one seat on the airplane.
Mhm.
Be one
Oh, wow.
wheelchair seat and an attendant seat or caregiver. That's all they're going to have.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess you know that some airlines have lowered the weight of wheelchairs that they'll accept.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've heard that.
Americans probably the worst, but it has a lot of lawsuits going on about it because of that. So hopefully some of that will get ironed out. But I believe they lowered it down to 370 pounds, if my memory's right. And a full blown chair weighs somewhere around 400 to 420 pounds.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
not optimal at all.
No. I know it was even difficult for my size wheelchair to get into the cargo section of certain planes. You usually have to get the flights that are early in the morning that have over 175 seats that have a larger cargo section so
Oh.
that the chair can fit through the cargo door.
Yeah.
Ron, if they do the change, will they make it so that you can take your chair onto the plane? Is that the
Yes.
goal? Okay.
That's the goal, is that you bring your chair onto the airplane, lock it down, and your caregiver sits beside you, and life is all wonderful. And supposedly you're going to be able to actually get in the bathrooms. I love that little handicap accessible bathroom sign on a 737. Okay. I can stand up, but it's pretty crowded for me. So I don't know how someone is supposed to get in there, transfer from a chair, even if it's the airline's aisle chair that they carry.
Right.
I don't see how you can do it.
Yeah, well, you can't
Unless you're
park
like
it. You can't park
this
it
big.
parallel, and you can't do it at a right angle. There's
Right.
no,
Yeah.
maybe they expect you to kind of do pole vaulting with a back flip so you land the right way.
They
Yeah,
should supply better poles, huh?
Exactly.
It is 4:15, well, 17. Should we go ahead and discuss, even though we can't vote on anything because we don't have a quorum?
That sounds like a plan. Because I think
Okay.
anybody that was coming should be here by now.
Exactly.
Find that really frustrating.
Me too.
La la la, 'tis the season.
It is. It is the season.
Yeah, it is the season, but when people make a commitment, they should make a
Yeah.
commitment. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I'm a troublemaker. It's the same people we see every time. So, we're holding to our commitment. We got to figure out a way to get others to hold to it.
I
The
don't
happy
know.
hour part might help.
Ooh, great
Yeah,
suggestion.
see? That was
What
Ron's
did you say,
suggestion.
Janet?
I said the happy hour idea may help. Make it more interesting somehow.
I thought
We
duct
can hold
tape.
commission meetings down at, Little Jack's Tavern or something.
There
There
you
we go.
Janet, can you at some point in January, can you tell us when our terms are up?
Yes, I will be happy to. I went over that documentation yesterday, but I didn't retain it. So,
Okay, because I'd certainly like to I feel like I just renewed, but it may be a time for us to maybe see if our council members have some people that they'd like to put on. We don't know. We've got a new mayor coming in, so
right, that will change things a little bit. I think. I'm not sure that it will, but so Ron, we'll turn it over to you.
Well,
And we can just follow the agenda, even though we don't have the ability to vote or be a quorum.
oh, now I got to pull it up. What's the first thing on there? The minutes. We can't do the minutes.
We can call to order and introductions. We've done that pretty much.
Yep. And we
Public
can't approve
comment,
the
we
minutes
don't have any public,
because we don't have enough people to approve the minutes.
right?
So we talked about a discussion on the paper that we found, or that Janet found, on where we were in, was it 1973?
No, it's 97, but it's kind of
97.
almost the same.
Yeah, where we were in 1997 and where we are in 2023. we have a lot of options I think we could do with that. And again, we can't vote on it, but one of the things I was thinking about doing was seeing if I could get the Post and Courier to let me write an editorial
Ooh,
based on that. And say, you know, here we are, 1997, here we are, 2023, and like very little on this list has been done.
mhm.
And what has been done is really low hanging fruit. That fruit that's almost on the ground. And I would say it more politically correct than that. But that was a thought I had. Another thought I had was we could just write a letter to the editor.
Hmm.
Um,
I like the editorial thing. And I'm wondering if Brian Hicks might be the person to reach out at. Because he tends to be a little bit of he responds. I sent him emails on stuff he's written. He responds back. And he's pretty open thinking, for lack of a better term.
yeah, I think that's a great idea. But I would like someone with disabilities to be part of that with him.
No, not asking him to write it, but to
Oh.
talk to him about you, for example, writing the editorial.
Oh, okay. To me, I think that paper that was written back then and now, I think that really shows us where we are in the ADA community.
Mhm.
I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts?
I like that idea a lot, and would give the community a perspective of where we see things, and
Mhm.
the minimal progress, if any progress has been made, or um, how we can continue to move forward, and give some ways that we can help make things better for everyone.
Yeah, especially, yeah, bringing in that, again, that thing about enlightened self-interest, because guess what, folks, all of us, every one of us on this planet, is going to need some kind of accommodation eventually in your life.
Yep. If you buy a 2-story house, by the time you're 75 years old, you're not going to go upstairs much.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way it is. The other thing I would talk about in it is the fact that we do the very minimal that needs to be done.
Mhm.
The elevator to get up to the second deck at Family Circle Cup. What do we call the stadium now?
Yeah, I think so.
Capital One,
Okay, the Capital One.
I think.
That elevator is pretty tight. It meets all the standards. If you go out there and you measure it, I mean, it meets it, but it doesn't exceed it. And we can all sit here and think of things and places where the standards met, but it's hell to get in there or out of there.
Well, it meets the letter of the law, but not the spirit of it.
Right. Yeah, the spirit of the law in the ADA community is gone, really. I went to where Patterson Academy is, the old St. Andrews High School, where they built a nice new gym area or performance stage. So my granddaughter was performing the other day and I went there. Well, there's virtually no place to sit in a wheelchair.
Wow.
It's just not there. You're going to block the aisle at one end or the other. The steps to go in there, there's no ramp. So to get in there, you have to go around the building, through the gate, and kind of like tying a knot to
Mhm.
get in there.
I didn't understand. This is at Patterson's Academy,
Yes.
a place that was created to educate people with disabilities.
Yeah.
But they're
And
in the
they-
old, they're in the old
They
St.
don't-
Andrews High School.
And they don't
facility,
have a
correct?
ramp?
Not a ramp to go into the door that leads you right into the auditorium. You have to go all the way around the back and into the school to go down there, where there's this nice brick steps, three steps that could easily have a ramp and make life much simpler.
Mhm.
That's the other problem I see, by the way, with a lot of these facilities, is if you have to evacuate, how do you really do that? Because if you're sitting in an aisle, at the end of an aisle, how's everybody behind you going to get out? Um, it's kind of crazy. I went to another performance at the School of the Arts. Their auditorium's got the same problems.
Hmm.
But again, it meets the standard. And by the way, I think I told you guys that I was actively involved in building the new city hall in Goose Creek. And we put these doors on there that didn't have ADA pulls, and somebody came in and complained to me about it. And in my mind, I might have said a few things to her that I shouldn't have, but they were all in my mind. I didn't get them out of my mouth but we went and we bought new door pulls. Well, now, you know, I'm screaming and hollering about door pulls everywhere.
Mhm.
And why can't we have electric buttons? Janet, is there any place in the city where they have electronic door buttons?
By place, you mean a public building or a commercial building?
A public building, other than the Gilliard.
Yes, they have them at the 180 Lockwood. They have them at the City Hall. They have them at Dock Street Theater. They have them at Meminger Auditorium, but those are all buildings that are actually owned by the city. So somebody we know and love who is not necessarily always liked by the rest of her coworkers fussed a lot until we got them. The schools have not shoved over to understand what I'm saying yet. MUSC does a little bit better. I'm trying to think where else. Schools just haven't sorted it out yet.
Yeah,
Now, the city did not properly do the bathrooms at 2 George. And
No, they
We-
did not.
we had quite a battle with that still, actually. But the exterior is done, just not the interior.
yeah, but the,
And-
the exterior is a little problematic because one button, you have to push it and then back up real quick because the doors are going to hit you if you don't.
Okay,
'Cause you have to
it's
come-
the vestibule. It's
Yep.
the vestibule door, right? I got it.
Yep. Yep. The buttons.
That's because they were retrofitted because nobody listened to me at first, which is sad.
No, really? I am
Yeah.
just shocked.
Kind of goes that way, doesn't it? Michelle has joined us. That gives us 5.
Now we have,
Yep.
so our options is to approve the last minutes
Yep.
and then actually we can continue the discussion on the differences between 1997 and 2023 and come up with a plan, or we can go on to any other new business people have.
Yeah, I
So-
love the idea of the letter to the editor. I think that sounds great. That with some next steps, that would be wonderful.
A letter to the editor or an editorial?
Oh, that's just, well, the editorials I thought were usually done by staff.
No, they got lots of guests doing editorials.
Oh, that's
too.
true. That's true. I'm sorry. You're correct. I think it would be great. And I was looking it up while you were talking, and I guess the anniversary of the ADA is in July, but we certainly don't want to wait till that. But it's a new year. I think the timing's great.
Um, Problem with the letter to the editor is it's going to be really long.
Yeah, and then they'll edit it down.
Yeah, you're right. The editorial makes more sense. You're absolutely correct.
And then either they'll cut it down or they'll cut it out. Or if it all gets in there, people won't read it because it's so long.
Mhm.
It's long. Ask the woman who typed it. Yeah, it's long.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hi, Michelle.
Hello, how is everyone?
Doing well,
Good,
Michelle.
good.
Good, good.
So if you want to continue on with a public meeting,
Start with the minutes, if you will.
if someone wants to suggest we approve the minutes, we can do that.
I make a
So
motion to
moved.
approve the new second.
I second.
All righty. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay.
Aye.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. So we're moving on. Michelle, we've been talking about, remember that that list that I think her name was Eleanor put
Harriet.
out in 1997
Oh,
And-
yeah,
and talked about, wouldn't it be nice if
right.
we're talking about getting a way to publicize that list and compare where we were in 97, where we are in 2023. Most of us agree that we've made minimal progress on it at best.
Hmm.
So one of the things we've talked about is trying to do an editorial. If the News Post and Courier would let us. And if we can't do it that way, then we'll have to come up with a different way. But
Well, it
If
sounded like you guys were saying the editorial would be too long.
the letter to
Letter
the
to the-
would be too long,
Mhm.
so we'd
Okay.
have to do an editorial.
Gotcha. Okay.
The other option is that we could contact one of the TV stations. Carolyn Murray might be a great contact since Carolyn has gone through a lot of issues with disability through her back issues. So, I mean, that's another
Yeah.
way. The problem with that is that in a TV segment, you're only going to get a minute and 30 seconds.
Well, it depends on which platform you do it on. Because during the daytime, like I not too long ago did in October an interview with her and actually got 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. And that was like at noontime when she does her noon little segment. So that could be an option. And then I also did an interview on Palmetto Life with the anchor person Savannah J and had 6 minutes to talk about the NFB. So either of those two might be good, but like you said, doing with Carolyn Murray might be a good way to go. So I can do contacting if you like.
And probably what would be really good is if we could do both.
It all. Mhm.
Mhm.
I
The
was
the
even
si-
thinking.
the
Sorry,
six
Michelle.
minute platform was with Savannah J. She generally I've only seen it when she's talked to different organizations about things that they're doing around Charleston. So I would have to contact her to see if that would be something she would be interested in having, like you or Miss Janet, on in which to talk about that very topic. So if I can get specifics of what it is you guys want to talk about, then I can contact both of them to see which one would be interested in having commission members on to speak about it.
If I can make a suggestion, if we start first with the written editorial, get that and the platform, and then we use that editorial to pass on to Savannah J and Carolyn Murray, because then they can see what the issues specifically are.
I like
True.
that idea.
I
Good
agree with
idea.
that. And I was also going to add, if we not only do the newspaper and TV, but not just Palmetto Life, but even Low Country Live for Channel 4. They have their midday show as well. So once the editorial is written, I think just going to those different media outlets to spread the word. And I have contacts with all of those outlets as well. So that can be of assistance. If I can be of assistance with that as well, I'll be glad to do it.
An additional thought might be to start with the written editorial, follow up with the TV, and then launch the survey.
Oh, good idea.
Oh yeah, yeah.
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 And one of the
Yeah.
talking points can be the survey will be coming out.
Exactly.
That's good. That's good.
Ooh,
That's a good plan.
So how do we begin?
All right. So are we done with that topic? Because I have another suggestion.
well, I think
I think we should talk through the editorial more and sort of talk about how to execute that. Mm.
My thoughts on that, on the editorial, was to say, start out like she starts out in that letter saying, we're all getting older. We have we all have disabilities, and we have an ADA Act. But the act is being followed by the letter of the law, but not by the spirit of the law. And then list the things in there, and then give an example of why uneven sidewalks are dangerous, or greasy floors in restaurants when you got a cane in your hand. And that was my thoughts on it, was to expand, not every item because there's too many of them to expand, but the ones that I think might be most important to expand on.
I like the suggestion about using that document as the springboard
Yeah.
and highlighting it.
I don't know that in my capacity that I will be able, I think that y'all as members of the commission can put
Yeah,
this
you
together.
can't do it.
Yeah, thank you. I would just wanted to let you know why I wasn't.
No,
Exactly.
you can't do it.
Okay.
Did we want to each take like a paragraph to write, or have one person draft it up?
Yeah, I tell you what, why don't we all
That's going to be a lot of paragraphs.
kind of work on it? Yeah, it's going to be a lot of paragraphs, but and then send it to me, or to Alex, or to Annette, or to Michelle, or to Yvonne, or to all of us, and then kind of see what we get all melted together. Because I think we all have, Annette, you have severe transportation issues.
Mm.
Which is sad because you live in Charleston. We live in Charleston, and we have Carter that's supposed to take care of that. But Carter only goes X number of miles and says, "Bah, sorry."
Mm-hmm.
So I think we all have things that we struggle with. I struggle with doors that won't open when I'm using a walker or a chair. So, but anyway, what's everybody think of that idea?
So if we all kind of take a look at it, do a little crack at it, and then see how it pops up. Is the intent, so that I have it clear in my mind, that we're taking a look at the original document, where we were, take a look at where we are, and then where we can be, here comes the survey. We need your input.
Right. Yes. And then if anybody who has a nice silver pen to write with wants to take on the project, that's fine. I have a couple of contacts at the Post and Courier.
Good.
I like the Brian Hicks idea. It would be really nice to sit down with one of the three of them and say, help us write this.
Yeah.
Or maybe even get them to I guess, co-write it, if you will.
Or maybe somebody comes up with something that, they say, okay, let's take a look at it. They help edit it down and
Right.
keep it into shape.
Yep.
I'd be willing to help sort of put the draft together
Sure.
of all of our parts and pieces.
Good idea.
Yep.
Since that's your strength.
Yes, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
and it'll be good to put those skills to use.
I'm much better at talking than writing.
So am I clear that is this coming from the committee? Am I clear on that?
Yeah.
Yes and no.
I think it
Because
needs to come. I think it needs to come from y'all as individuals who are
Right.
members of the commission. I think
Okay.
that's how to do it.
Okay, you just let us know, Jen, on that end, because
I will.
we don't want to step on any toes. Okay, there we go.
Gotcha. So Alex, you have volunteered to coordinate this. And if members of the commission have thoughts about any of the, I'm going to say 75 points that Harriet made,
Oh, wow.
we can, yeah, it's a lot. And Michelle, I sent it to, it's part of the minutes from October where I transcribed it into the document, into your reader may be able to pick up on it.
Okay.
It's the second and third
Thank you.
pages of the October minutes. So Alex has volunteered to coordinate this, and y'all are going to contribute to him your thoughts about the pieces, right?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. He may be
Wonderful.
sorry.
It'll be all team input. I'll be appreciative of everyone's input and ideas, and we'll make it happen.
Yay.
Okay,
Great.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to get clarification also. So we're gonna each of us look at the document and make comparisons from then to now ourselves, or we're taking certain sections or paragraphs or certain numbers 1 through whatever to look at each.
Michelle, it might be easier for you if would you like it for me to go through and pick out the ones that deal mostly with visually impaired issues?
Yes,
Like-
ma'am. That would be awesome. That
Because
would be
one of them says
extremely
visually
helpful.
impaired people have a secret ballot.
Okay.
And that's, that
Imagine
becomes,
a world where.
yeah. There are secret ballots for visually impaired people, and that
Okay.
there are a few others that major publications are available in special media like Braille. Imagine
Okay.
us producing major publications for
Okay.
that. I was looking.
And then again,
And
technology has really evolved since 1997 too.
really has. It really has. There's also one where she says, imagine a city where cultural institutions provide meaningful experiences for blind, visually impaired, and people with intellectual disabilities. So she covered the scope, I think. I'll single that out though and send you those pieces if that's okay.
You know what I think?
Okay.
And Janet, can you send out that document to everyone again? Because I can't seem to find it at the moment.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to.
Thank you.
All right, so we on to new business.
Yes.
I have a request, Janet.
Okay.
I know that somewhere along the line, City Council has an ADA commission made up of city council members, I believe. If they don't, they should have. We have one for recreation.
Okay, keep going.
I would like to see a city council member attend one of our meetings.
Okay. I
Um,
will put in that request.
I don't know how far that request will get, but
I think we may need to request that a city council member be a commission member. Maybe that's it.
good idea.
Okay.
I just think that I'm trying to be really tactful just for Yvonne because she gets upset when I'm not real tactful. I just think that that a lot of city council members don't understand the ADA situation much at all.
But isn't this a committee for the mayor? The mayor's committee?
Mhm.
Technically speaking, we are the mayor's commission on disability issues.
Right.
So, okay, well, after we discuss Ron's question, I have a question to piggyback on that Janet's last comment.
So that's really all I have is that I would like to see a council member assigned to this and actually attend so that we can get better representation on council.
Okay, the purpose of the commission is, there are three parts. One is to support the city's efforts to comply with federal and state laws preventing discrimination against persons with disabilities. Two is to educate city staff, policymakers, and the general public about the needs and potential contributions of persons with disabilities in the city of Charleston. And three is to educate the disabled population about its right and capabilities. This was written before me, okay? I didn't write any of that, but that's in the ordinance.
Actually, I think it's actually pretty clear and pretty much all inclusive.
What I don't like is that we're to educate people with disabilities about their capabilities.
Exactly.
No, but other than that, I don't disagree, Ron.
And I guess my question for clarification piggybacks on all of this. If we are the mayor's commission and we are now going to get a new mayor, does that mean that everybody has to be reapproved?
Not to my understanding.
Okay.
But earlier, Vonnie had asked about when the term limits and stuff were up, and I'm going to put that together for you so that you can see that.
So this is a standing committee, for lack of a better
Standing.
word.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this, okay.
Well, I'm sitting, but hey.
Oh, please. Oh, please.
I like that, Annette.
I will be happy to pass that along, Ron. Any other new business? Sorry, that's not my place to say. That's Ron's place.
Any other new business?
Well, again, just piggybacking on all of this that we're discussing, there is going to be
Piggyback away.
a mayor. And is there a chance, once the dust settles, to get a meeting?
Would we like to invite him to a commission meeting?
Sure.
Let's do that.
I'd like to listen to his ideas about what his,
Mm-hmm. Okay. We should probably go ahead and get on the calendar soon.
I'm sure he's going to be a very busy guy the first few months.
Yeah.
And then the second thing, because all of us have been serving under Mayor Tecklenburg's term, do we do a letter, a card of thanks? And you,
I am at your
How about
disposal
that?
for that.
Uh, I don't know the rule on that. I don't know.
well, bottom line, this committee exists. It didn't exist. It sort of went dormant for a long while, and then under him, it came back up and running again. So he spent some energy there to make that happen, to approve that and all of that. For a while, we had Rick Giroux kind of working as the liaison, and then things, not quite sure what all happened with all of that. But I'm a firm believer that saying thank you is always a good thing.
Would y'all like for me to send a thank you of some sort, card, letter, something, note to Mayor Tecklenburg?
Ron, is this something you might be able to do as our chairperson? Not to say no to you, Jen, but you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So-
no, that's fine. You are not hurting my feelings.
Okay.
I can do that. And I'd mention in there, that he reactivated. I don't know that that's the right term, but it's basically what happened was he reactivated the ADA commission. And that, because it's been reactivated, we've been slowly but surely moving into the 20th century.
And okay, you can shut me up if you want, if you need to, but another suggestion to piggyback on that, maybe the letter could come jointly from Alex and from you, because the two of you represent the two chair people who served under his administration since the commission was reactivated. So as former president, chairperson, and current chairperson?
Here, yeah.
Or is that making it just a little bit more complicated?
No, I'll put something together and I'll send it to Alex and see what he thinks of it. And you got a red pen, Alex?
Yes, I can add some ink to it.
And then if you
And
send
that's
it,
very thoughtful.
and then just kind of list our names under it,
Right.
as co-signing as well.
Right.
Mhm.
All his committee members. We can do that. I will work on that.
That was good new business.
Well, once in a while we can get busy, right?
Once in a while.
Well, we need, as the old saying goes, the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Mhm.
And if we don't start squeaking until after everybody else, we're in a long line to get oil.
Well, like we're the 4:00 meeting on Friday.
Yeah. Should be happy hour.
Only if we can put it on the city's dime.
Right.
I don't know what the Charleston's policy is, but I know what the city of Goose Creek's policy was that the only one that got to put alcohol on the city's money was the mayor and the city administrator. So
Ah, interesting.
They had to be special functions, so.
Mhm. Any other new business?
Any other new? Any old
Nope.
we need to go over?
Just please tell Santa to overlook my misdeeds in the past year. I hope something's good in my stocking. That's the only new old business that I can think of.
When I
I
see
can't-
Santa, I'll tell him.
For a Ferrari convertible, and he's never given me one. I don't understand why.
Maybe he couldn't make it. Maybe there was some, trademark or something that he couldn't get around.
I don't know.
Or it could be the case like when I was 16 years old, I wanted a Mustang convertible so badly. And I kept asking it for it year after year. And when I turned 18, there was a box under the tree, and it was a Matchbox Mustang convertible with a note on it that said,
Oh.
water it every day, put it in the sun, and maybe it'll grow.
So somebody heard you, they just couldn't make anything else.
Exactly.
Oh, well.
Well, this is good.
Well, with that, does anybody want to make a motion to go have our hot toddies?
I make a motion to adjourn.
And I second.
All right.
All right, happy hour.
See each other the last Friday in January.
26th.
All right.
What, ma'am?
It's the 26th, January
Okay.
26th.
And then we'll do all up write-ups and get them to Alex and get working on letting all of the people in Charleston know that we've not made a lot of headway since 1990.
Mhm.
So,
So in other words, Alex is going to have to correct a lot of homework assignments.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he said he's got a red pen. So my office wife in Goose Creek had a red pen, and sometimes I'd get my draft back from her and it was just nothing but red.
Oh, I hear you.
I'll give everyone a passing grade. Won't be too bad.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, everybody, I hope you all have a wonderful holiday week and a very happy new year.
Yes. Merry
Thank you.
Christmas to all of you.
All right. All right.
Happy
Happy
Agreed.
Hanukkah. Hanukkah's almost over.
And Bonnie, I hope you feel better.
Yeah. Oh, Vonnie, it's no fun to be sick during the
No.
holidays.
It's not.
Bourbon with honey.
Ooh.
Mm. Well, feel better. Feel better.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
All right,
Sharing.
everyone. Happy
Bye-bye.
holidays.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.